Seeking English, S.A.T. Workbook, page 327, problem 4. When Maria was packing for a trip home, she used 2 suitcases, the larger of which held 3 times as much as the smaller suitcase. After packing, she noticed that the larger suitcase was 3/4 full, and the smaller suitcase was half full. Maria then decided to move everything in the smaller suitcase to the larger suitcase. After this, how full was the larger suitcase? Answers are 3/8 full, 5/6 full, 11/12 full, or full to capacity. I'm always stressing with students to try to follow the chronology. The chronology in this case is that she's dealing with the large suitcase at the end of the story. So chronology is sometimes it just means putting things in order. Sometimes it means understanding what's the end of the process and trying to work backward from there. So in this case, you probably want to define the smaller suitcase in terms of being 1/3 of the larger suitcase, which I've done here. That's the large suitcase. Okay, that's the smaller suitcase in terms of the larger suitcase. The other way to do this is to define the larger suitcase in terms of the smaller suitcase. It's 3 times as large as the smaller suitcase. There's half of the smaller suitcase. These expressions, they're about equally complex. The difference being, though, that if you solve for the smaller suitcase, then you have to convert back by multiplying by 3. It's an extra step. So even though these look similar, they're not. And if you prefer to multiply rather than divide, or to use multiples rather than fractions, as I do, that's not a bad instinct, but it doesn't serve you in this case. You want to figure out what am I really doing? Where am I really going? I'm going to the large suitcase at the end of the story. So if you can define the smaller suitcase as the subordinate variable strictly in reference to the larger suitcase, you're already closer to the end of the story when you begin to do the difficult part. So I'm going to say, yeah, it would also work, but no, we're not going to do that. Okay, so from here, convert, that becomes 3L/4. From there, that's going to become L/6. Okay. From here, many of my students assume the common denominator is going to be 24. It's not. It's going to be 12. You look at it as 12. Common denominator is 12. So that becomes 2L/12. And by then, if you've already seen your answers, you're done. But no. I'm going to do the rest of it. Okay. That becomes 9L/12. Okay. Becomes 11/12 times L. It's 11/12 of the capacity of your large suitcase. Reason I mentioned the denominator 12 is that if you do look at your answers, if you look at them in advance, 8, 6, 12, 8 is not a denominator that plays well with 12. 6 does. Full to capacity would be 12/12. I don't know. So if you're, I don't know, and there's probably some problem where this is more obvious, but when I got to the 12th, the first time I did this, I immediately thought the 11/12. Doing the rest of it was just kind of confirming that 12 was the denominator. Okay. Again, this one, that's not what's so important. The denominator in this problem is not the important part. The important part is making sure that you define related variables in terms of the variable that you're solving for, so that you don't have to convert back at the end of the process. I think I've explained it enough.